Sadly, we're all gathered here again in historic Ann Street in solidarity with the plight of the Palestinian people who once again find themselves at the mercy of the Zionist war machine. I'd like to ask you all to observe a few minutes silence in memory of those who have lost their lives in the last number of days in Palestine and indeed throughout the history of the onslaught from the war machine. We have a number of speakers here tonight, folks. We're going to start with local Palestinian activist on instrumental character in relation to the Throne to Gaza campaign in the last number of years, John Hurson.
Thanks, Barry. Sadly, we're gathered here again today with another ongoing massacre and genocide in Gaza. And funny, it just came up in my memories today on Facebook that it was exactly 3 years ago that in Gaza, when they had moved the embassy to Jerusalem on the Monday, that there were more than 67 innocent people that day. And we gathered a few nights later. And that hasn't stopped since. You know, they talk about why are they sending rockets. Well, 3 years ago, they peacefully went without anything and they got slaughtered. So it doesn't matter what they do. The slaughter and genocide goes on. It's been a horrible few days watching what's been going on, especially last night where they went in just on a mass bombing raids and right through the Gaza Strip. 10,000 people left their homes. The scenes of them all walking down with whatever bit of personal belongings they could get was absolutely horrifying. So, what can we do going forward? And one thing we need to do going forward is still to maintain the solidarity. But one thing that I was chatting to a few comrades and friends earlier about that we want to try and highlight is the ongoing support that the Irish American politicians are given to the Zionist regime. And there's a few stand out in particular, and one is Brendan Boyle, a son of a Donegal man. And on Monday, before the Palestinians were even gathered off the street, he was out with a statement offering support. This is the same man who a couple of weeks ago delivered the lecture with Relatives for Justice on Pat Finucane. So how would the people here that stand shoulder to shoulder with Brendan Boyle feel that on the day of, say, Bloody Sunday or Ballymurphy, that he came out and said the British had a right to defend themselves? Because there's an injustice in Gaza is no different to the injustice in Ballymurphy or in Derry. So we're going to have to concentrate on these guys. And we've got to make Ireland a cold place for them. Very cold place. And not only that, the people that roll out the red carpet for them, we want to let them know there's no room for the Brendan Boyles of this world in Ireland. And we can do without, while it's great to have international support, we don't need support from people that have their boot on the necks of the Palestinians and supporting the genocide. So going forward, that's something we're going to work on in terms of solidarity, and there'll be more information will be put out. Just before I come out tonight, I made a point of ringing Boyle's office in Pennsylvania and let them know that he's not welcome in Ireland while he holds them views. And hopefully we'll get a message to him very, very soon, so we will. Now, he's only one of many, but if we start with one and make an example of one, the rest will take notice. Now, that mightn't change the things, but it'll definitely change how Ireland feels about them, and that's important. So, as I've said before, as many's the night, I'm always proud to carry this flag. It contains quite a few solidarity names over the years. This means a lot to the Palestinians as it is, because we've seen it everywhere. I'm proud of it. It represents everybody here, represents everybody in Tyrone, Ireland, and people around the world with a conscience that will stand up for the Palestinians. As I say, hopefully we don't have to stand here again next week, but if we do, we'll have a bigger crowd and we'll send a bigger message again. The slaughter has to end, and one way that we can play our part here is, as I say, is let our political parties know that there's no room for the people from the USA that continue support for the genocide. We've already made good inroads in terms of the political parties here who had a history of entertaining every Israeli delegation that came to town. Well, thankfully that day is over. That's come to an end. And another man that we are going to have to highlight, and it's going to be possible that in a short time he's going to get the big hero's welcome here, and that is Joe Biden. You know, we can't forget the last few months how everybody was tripping over themselves going, Biden's a great fella, he's a lovely fella, and offering their support for him. Well, he's no worse than the boys pulling the trigger, because he arms them, he funds them. Barack Obama funded it all as well, and they need to know that's a cold house here for them. And also the people that support Biden, we need to let them know that their support is wasted and they're supporting the genocide. Anyhow, I'll because we have a few speakers here, and we have a new speaker, and Malachy Quinn, local councillor here, he's been very instrumental in pushing through the BDS motions, and he's a good support for it. So without further ado, we'll let Malachy speak about Palestine and about his BDS motions.
Thank you, John. Look, I'm not going to speak for too long. Everybody knows why we're here. We've seen the slaughter going on over the last couple of weeks, and as John pointed out, we were here 3 years ago when they did lead a peaceful march to the gates of their own land, and they were shot down like dogs in the street. And I seen it, and I was horrified. And the problem is, I'm only a local councillor. I'm not a big politician. I don't have power in Stormont, I don't have power in Westminster, I don't have power in Washington, just like everybody else here. And I felt weak to do anything. But there's one thing we could do, and that was to support the BDS movement. And to make sure that any council business conducted in Mid-Ulster does not have anything to do with Israel or any of their goods coming in or supporting them in any way, shape or form. Now, thanks to the support of Barry and Dan, we've been moving that over the last couple of years. But that is the one way that we can do things and send a message to Biden, send a message to Boyle, send a message to Westminster, send a message up the road to Belfast, that we aren't going to sit by and let people be slaughtered on the streets in their own land. And I'm going to ask everybody here, we've done it in Mid-Ulster, but it's not done in Fermanagh or Roma, it hasn't been done in ABC Council, it hasn't been done in majority of councils across our own land. Get in touch with local councillors, ask them to support the BDS movement, ask their council to support the BDS movement, and together we can all send a message that we will not conduct our business with those slaughtering people on the street. The UK government is arming the Israeli forces to shoot them down. We have local businesses here working with those in Israel that are shooting those people down. We have Washington backing them to the hilt, shooting those people down. If you're helping in any way, you're involved in it, end of story. And the only way we can do it is by boycotting every single one of them. So that's me, that's all I have to say. The BDS movement is our biggest weapon to fight against Israel and to help Gaza. And I urge every single one of you, find the names of local councillors, find the names of your local MLAs, MPs, whatever it takes, email them, hound them, and ask them to support the BDS movement. Thank you.